everybody. Welcome to another edition of Two Strike Noise, your mom's favorite weekly baseball history podcast. My name is Jeff. I am one half of the show as usual. Joining me from the Pacific Northwest, where apparently it's snowing for some reason right now, from the Chris Widger studio, it is my co-host, Mark A. Johnston.
Yeah, we are currently the Great White North, because it's snowing and it's sticking, and I'm sitting here tonight. I'm going up to the stadium to work on some spring training type things that me and producer Mitch need to work on, and I'm going up in the snow. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Are you guys going to be scoring like the U.S.-Canada game? And are you rooting for Canada after that intro?
Right. I feel like I should because of the snow. But no, I think we're just doing the Mariners. I think they have a night game in Arizona.
I'm working on Tuesday night, which is the World Baseball Classic Final. I'm not excited about that. I don't think people are going to be going to a bar to watch it, but I want to watch it.
I know, right?
Maybe I'll have somebody else go. I don't know. But let's not talk about work. Let's talk about baseball and some baseball history stuff. Let's get right into our BP segment. Why don't we start with some Hall of Fame news? We'll start at the top and work down. How's that? Andre Dawson, Hall of Famer. We like to talk about the Hawk quite a bit. So Andre has asked the Hall of Fame to reconsider his cap that is on his Cooperstown plaque.
Yes.
Currently, he went in as an Expo. I think the last Expo, was he the only Expo? I think Gary Carter went in as a Met.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He's like, I don't want that. He wants it to be a Cubs hat. And the Hall of Fame used to let the player choose, but it changed its policy after Wade Boggs was throwing back some of those beers. And he signed with Tampa for the last year or two of his career. And I believe there was something, or there was rumored to be something in his contract that said if he went into the Hall of Fame that he would wear a Rays hat. Give him props for trying to get a Ray in the Hall of Fame. Is there anybody even remotely close to being a Hall of Famer with a Rays cap on?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think the only one that had a chance is in jail down in the Caribbean somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
But he wanted, Andre Dawson wanted to be considered a Cub in the Hall of Fame. He asked them to make the change, and he was as shocked as anybody when they said, yeah, we'll do that. Kind of. He's going to get a new plaque, but instead of changing it to a Cubs hat, it's just going to be a generic no logo cap. So he'll join.
Yeah, there's a couple of those.
Yeah, Greg Maddux is one of the big ones. You think of Greg Maddux, you think of the Cubs, and you think of Atlanta, so it makes sense. But he will. I think McGriff might have no logo as well. Not sure about that. I think
Tim Raines has an Expos.
Does he?
Think about it.
I guess so. I guess that would make sense. Where
I think that's your only Expo if Andre flips to the Cubs.
Yeah, maybe Randy Johnson can ask to move from them. I'm assuming Randy's got a Mariners hat.
I believe he's a Diamondback.
Really? That's weird. That's really weird. But anyway, Andre's going to get his way. Good for him. Let's talk about somebody that is actually still playing. One of my favorite players, even though he is not really on any team that I'm affiliated with anymore. He came up, though, not all the way up, but he made his major league debut with the A's when I was an A's fan. I still love this guy. I think most A's fans still love Ramon Laureano.
Oh, sure.
He was scratched from a recent spring training start, and the reason given was left shoulder from bad sleep with new dog. This just makes me love Ramon more.
No doubt.
He's got pictures on his Instagram of him with a new dog. It's a little Mitch dog, a little wiener dog. It's adorable, and I love that he sleeps with it. Lord knows I sleep. My wife and I have got 3 dogs in between us all night. It's
the feeling.
Interesting injury. I think he probably only missed 1 game. I think other former Athletic Jesus Luzardo got injured playing video games last year.
Of course, something like that.
What was it? Joel Zumaya with the Guitar Hero injury where he missed actual time during the season. That's a bit more than...
Guitar Hero is a great game, though. I understand.
Yeah, but I think I guess your fingers, you're on the frets. You're really stressing those. And for a pitcher, if you're using your pitching hand, I can see how that could cause some discomfort.
You sure?
Let's see here. Mark, Jay Johnstone, we've done a whole episode on him. We bring him up quite a few times. I don't think I mentioned this prank when we did the Jay Johnstone episode, whenever we did that. But spring training, he was with the Phillies in 1976. He had to take a physical. I think everybody does when they go to spring training. And he needed to provide a urine sample. He went into the bathroom. Unbeknownst to the test provider, Jay also, it's now known to us. I guess we should just
Yes, it's announced.
Get that out there. Jay also took in a cup of apple juice with him. So he comes back out and hands the cup of apple juice to the nurse. The nurse could tell something was off, probably from the temperature. It was probably a little bit cooler than a normal body temperature, and asked him, "What is this?" To which Johnstone did not reply. He simply took the cup back from her and drank it. I can see where he was going with that, but he missed just a little bit of
oh yeah, that's awesome.
A little science came back to bite him in the butt.
Yeah, I don't think I have ever urinated cold, but I don't think I'd want to either.
No, I think something's definitely wrong if that's coming out cold. Oh, let's talk baseball cards. We talk baseball cards here quite a bit, but I want to talk about the Very Reverend Aiden Smith, which I did not know the Very Reverend was a title. Apparently it is. I am ordained. Are you ordained? I thought you were ordained too.
No, I'm not. I'm just a sea captain.
Oh, I am technically a reverend. If I knew that there was a very reverend that I could have maybe got for an extra $5, I probably would have gone.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
I could have gone with pontiff, but I thought that was a little too snooty.
Yeah.
I just went with the reverend. But Aiden Smith was arrested February 27th after leaving Walmart, it's just outside of Pittsburgh, with 27 packs of baseball cards concealed under his clothing in the box.
Okay.
So how many are in those boxes these days? Is there 20? I'm sure it's not an odd number like 27, but sounds like a pretty full box. He just grabbed, threw it under his, I'm assuming that he was there in his reverend gear. I don't know if they wear collars or what. I think that would make, if you're going to steal stuff, that might make you less suspicious.
This is true.
But police say Walmart security showed Smith had been taking baseball cards for each of the 4 previous days as well, and absconding with them sans payment.
I'll tell you what, I got 2 comments. One, these cards are addicting, man. They're such unique, amazing cards, short prints and refractors and autographs. Okay, so I understand. And then have you seen the prices on them?
Yeah.
Sure. Come on.
That's the
There's
thing.
no other alternative.
They totaled that he had nicked Walmart for $1,099.99. So $1,100 over 4 days of baseball cards.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Of which I wonder if you totaled the value of what he took if you opened them and priced them individually. Probably not near that.
Full of short print autograph, maybe.
But reading one of the stories about it, they did say that it is like a dopamine rush. It's like a loot box, loot crate when you're playing video games, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You just, oh, what am I going to get this time? It could be something really cool. And I get it with baseball cards. I bought my first packs this year, and I was going to open them on stream. I bought them like on a Friday afternoon. I was going to open them like maybe the next Monday. Couldn't do it. Saturday, I had ripped all 4 of them open. So
yeah, I bought 3 boxes of Bowman Draft, and I'm like, I'm going to do these slowly. Yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah, no, does not happen. I think I think the devil made him do it. Honestly,
it's El Diablo.
Mark, last week you brought up the North Philadelphia Honey Drippers during your story about the clowns.
That's right.
And
yes.
I was fascinated by this name. I love it. So I was like, oh, I need to revisit that and just learn a little bit about them. I wanted to talk about them. But this is what has happened. A minor league team has adopted it as their alternate. Well, I guess they did last year. They adopted it as their alternate identity. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, which in itself sounds like an alternate identity, but they rebranded as the Jacksonville Honey Drippers for a couple of games last year. And this promotion celebrates the Honey Dripper, which is a traditional frozen fruity southern treat with deep roots in Jacksonville's historic East Side neighborhood. I doubt that's what the North Philly Honey Drippers were named after.
Yeah, you're probably right there.
But I was reading these because there's a couple of press releases on it, and I wanted to see, is there any tie to this women's team, the Honey Drippers? And there was not. It's just they're doing their own thing. But somebody's taking advantage of the awesome name. Just I don't think it's the way that I would have hoped it would have been used. But if you want a Honey Drippers hat, you can still get them if you want. Just not the North Philly Honey Drippers.
No, unfortunately, I think they sold out.
Like they sold out, like they gave up money to the man, or they just...
No, they ran out. They sold out back in the 50s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. That'll do it for our BP segment this week. Let's go ahead. Let's Grounds Crew come out here and do its thing. And we're going to head into the main story this week, which is about a guy. There's only been 2 guys that have been named this in Major League history. One went on to be a GM for the Chicago White Sox, and the other is this guy that we're going to talk about. I'm talking about Ken Williams, but I'm talking about the Deaball, Ken Williams. If you want more about the contemporary Ken Williams, the 1988 Topps podcast did a whole episode on him, and that's how I know most about him as a player. But I want to talk about the other Ken Williams, and specifically, I want to start talking about the 1922 season because it started strange. It started with literally a massive power vacuum. Full-on Hoover type stuff. So following the 1921 World Series, Babe Ruth and teammate Bob Musel went on a barnstorming tour after the season. Commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis, looking to assert his absolute authority into every aspect of everybody's life, lost it over this completely over-the-top display of being a baseball player. He fined them both their entire World Series shares from the year before and suspended them for the first 6 weeks of the 1922 season.
Wow.
He didn't suspend him for life, at least.
Yeah.
So he's yeah. But that is the face of the game. That's Babe Ruth. Yes, Bob Musel, too. Silent Bob, one of his nicknames. But Babe Ruth here is the headline. So the face of baseball is essentially in timeout. That leaves the door open for a lot of other players, though, to step up and assume that spotlight that Babe Ruth just inhabits by being Babe Ruth. He was a global icon before that was even a thing. He's mobbed on every street corner, given hot dogs by random passerbyers, cigars by adoring children, which is, I guess, better than him giving cigars to the kids, but it's still odd. And filming viral workout videos with equipment that looked like it was right out of Looney Tunes before TikTok was even a glint in your great-great-great-great-grandfather's eyes. Like, he would be a social media just god at this point. Babe Ruth would be. I think he would be fantastic. In contrast, though, there was Ken Williams. He was a lean, described as gangly kid from Oregon who left school after the 8th grade to follow really every little kid's dream, which is to work in the local box factory.
Yes.
But, Mark, we wouldn't be talking about Ken if he didn't actually play baseball. You would need to listen to our box podcast, Don't Box Us In, if you want any more just plain old straight box stories. That's where you can find them.
There's some good ones.
Yo, boy, never run out of content in the box podcast. So Williams' big break came in 1912 when he caught the eye of local scouts and he was called up to the PCL to fill an empty roster spot on the Oakland Oaks. This is my second consecutive story involving the Oaks. I'm going for the Triple Crown next time. One more. And I don't know what I get, but I get something. So he showed up in Oakland wearing a homemade pair of baseball shoes with metal spikes that he had driven into the soles himself. Like the opposite of Willie Mays Hayes. He was good and showed up not looking the part, Willie Mays Hayes. But I'm just wondering how uncomfortable those shoes must have been. I'm just thinking athletic shoes couldn't have been comfortable in 1912 as it was, but let alone if you drive metal spikes through them yourself. I can't imagine those are comfortable.
Yeah, I don't see those being helpful orthotics.
Nor looking very good. So Ken consistently hit 300 in the minors. He had speed that he showed off on the base paths. The Cincinnati Reds saw him in Oakland, signed him to a big league deal. He spent the 1915 and 16 seasons with them, but was eventually sent down. He was struggling at the plate, didn't have a lot of playing time his second season, and he wasn't performing in the field defensively. The St. Louis Browns took a chance on signing Ken, and their gamble paid off. Williams spent the next 10 years with the Browns, hitting under 300 only once. Beyond hitting for average, he had some pop as baseball was coming out of the dead ball era. He stole bases, and he had a great eye. The final 12 years of his 14-year contract, he walked more than he struck out in 12 of those 14 seasons. Like, by a lot. He was walking a lot, which, when you got power, I guess that happens.
Yeah.
The Browns were the Browns, though. Who likes the color brown? How can you get excited about a team called the Browns?
Yeah.
I would have you could have gone with Brown Bears, something. Sure. Charlie Brown, he was a sad sack. Encyclopedia Brown was a sanctimonious little jerk.
Never heard someone so angry at Encyclopedia Brown.
I loved Encyclopedia Brown. I just was trying to think of Browns. It's like the opposite of, with a name like Smuckers, it's got to be good, right?
That's true.
The Browns, they're not going to be good. The Homestead Grays, the same thing, but they were good, though.
Yeah.
But if you're going to name your team after a color, why not choose like a bright, fun color, like the Reds, the Blues? Drunk Tank Pink is a scientific shade designed to reduce aggression in prisoners. I also found Goose Turd Green, which this was a high fashion color in the late 1500s.
I'm sure.
Why are we not bringing this back? Goose Turd Green. And speaking of minor league teams and multiple identities, why aren't minor leaguers using these? And if so, I should get credit for it. But 1922 was a special season. Williams went on a tear to start the season, hitting 9 home runs in 7 games. Browns fans were excited about the Browns, apparently. They honored him in a special ceremony on April 30th, presenting him with a phonograph.
Ooh.
This prompted the St. Louis Post-Dispatch to publish a story with this incredible line. Having given him a new phonograph, the fans expect Williams to break all the old records. Dad humor alive and well in 1922.
I guess so.
Despite the hot start and leading the league in multiple categories, and, of course, the proud owner of a new phonograph, Ken was essentially still persona non grata even in his own city. With this hot start, a local photographer was sent to grab some shots of Ken batting, but they accidentally shot an entire roll of film on his teammate, Bill Baby Doll Jacobson, because they did not know what Ken Williams looked like.
Was it impolite to ask?
They could have bought a jersey, or they could have bought a program. Seems like that solves everything.
You would think.
They were wearing jerseys at this point. They were wearing numbers on their jerseys at this point. Plus, Ken batted left. Baby Doll batted right. Baby Doll was 3 inches taller, 50 pounds heavier than Ken as well. But you know what? That photographer was just there to collect a paycheck, clearly.
Apparently, yes.
Yeah, so the Bambino returned on May 20th, and the Yankees had actually held their own. Well, he and Bob were out, going 22-11. But Williams was already on a tear. In those 31 games, he was hitting .336, had an on-base percentage of .434, and was slugging .682. He had 11 home runs, 31 ribs, and 11 stolen bases. He had walked 19 times and only struck out 9 times.
Wow.
So, just a great start. Ruth, though, he's being Babe Ruth. This is Ruth in his prime. So he quickly gains, putting up some offensive numbers. Ken had a little bit of help, though, from a Browns rookie pitcher named Hub Shucks Pruitt. Pruitt got that nickname because that was the only curse word he would use. Shucks struck Ruth out 13 times in 24 career at-bats versus the Bambino. Well, Mark, what would your nickname be if it was your most used curse word?
Yeah, I don't drop a lot of those. I guess it would be, shucks is up there. I like that one, but I have to use my most used. I have to use my most used. Freaking.
Yeah. Freaking? What?
Are you freaking kidding me?
Sounds like you were raised in Salt Lake City like I was.
I was not, but I did pick up the habit.
Yeah. I don't swear a lot in public. My wife and I swear like sailors at home. But yeah, I tend to not swear much in public. Don't think I would friggin' or freaking freak. Let's get back to the story. Williams wasn't the only threat on the Browns, though. George Sisler, Hall of Famer, was at first. He could hit a bit. By a bit, I mean he hit .420. Nice that season. Joining Ken in the outfield were the aforementioned William Baby Doll Jacobson, who was a fantastic contact hitter. He hit .317 in 1922. Now, Baby Doll had come up on starting nine quite a few times while I was playing that, and he earned the nickname in the minor leagues when a band struck up the tune "Oh You Beautiful Doll" after he hit a home run. Now, I have found this song, and I want you just to listen to it, and let's just listen to it.
Honey dear, want you near, just turn out the light and then come over here, nestle close up to my side, my heart's afire with love.
Now, does that sound like the kind of song that makes you want to run through a wall after you hit a home run?
If that doesn't fire you up, nothing will.
Didn't they use this during the training montage in Rocky III? Why isn't anybody using this as a walk-up song today? Oh, that would be so great just to do it once at least.
Absolutely.
Like
Bring it back.
I remember when Josh Reddick used Careless Whisper, like the Wham version, for a while.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Why not do this? And if you look at the picture of Baby Doll, he ain't no baby doll. He was 6'3", 215. And he's got, a rough looking face. Looks like he could chew nails every now and then for fun. Also in the outfield, Jack Tobin was there. He was another great hitter, led the league in triples the year before, hit over 300 again in 1922. Of the 8 regular position players for the Browns, only 2 of them hit under 300 that year. So this Browns team was actually pretty good. They had some good pitching. But once Ruth returned, the Yankees and the Browns were never more than 3.5 games apart at the top of the American League. This leads us to what was dubbed the Little World Series. This was a highly anticipated 3-game series between the Browns and the Yankees from September 16th to the 18th in St. Louis. Heading into the series, the Browns were trailing the first-place Yankees by just a half a game. Fans were so excited for this, again, for the Browns, that they began lining up for tickets at 11 o'clock the night before the opener. Despite the importance of these games, this series was actually marred by 2 very serious incidents involving fans. So during the bottom of the 9th inning of the first game, Yankees outfielder Whitey Witt was chasing down a fly ball in the outfield when a fan threw a glass bottle at him that nailed Whitey squarely in the head, knocking him out on the field.
Okay, that's a little much.
Yeah, sometimes you see fans throw things at players, but they're awful. They have awful aim.
Yeah.
Like you never actually hit him. They hit him in the head with a bottle and knocked him out.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. What kind of an aim is that?
Plus, if he's like tracking a ball, he's moving. Like you've got to account for that. Sign the guy up is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Despite this serious incident, the Yankees held on to win the game 2-1. The Browns rebounded to win the second game 5-1, aided by a Ken Williams home run in that game, setting up a rubber match on Monday. The classic Saturday through Monday series. In the top of the 9th inning, that guy, Whitey Witt, playing with a heavily wrapped head in gauze. I assumed that like he looked like a rugby player, like just maybe one of those big ice packs underneath it from the old timey days. He had a 2-run single to give the Yankees a 3-2 lead in the 9th inning. Following the hit, though, all hell broke loose in the sports writers section of the stand. I got so excited, I went up an octave there when I said that.
Yeah.
The writers were sitting in the stands as they did at certain stadiums, alongside They had a desk in front of them so they could type or write, do whatever they want. But the fans are right there in front and behind them. Just like when you have a laptop open in a public space, people are curious about what you're doing regardless. And that's what happened. A Browns fan who was reading over the shoulder of the New York Tribune columnist W.O. McGeehan, he didn't like what McGeehan was writing. So the fan did what any level-headed, mature adult would do. He hit the writer in the head with a seat cushion and shouted, "Send that back to New York." I'm wondering if there was an expletive or something in there. And at least it was a seat cushion and not a bottle.
Yeah, something cushiony, a little better thought out, I think.
A little bit less jail time, probably.
Yes, that's it.
Another writer from New York jumped to McGeehan's defense and did what any level-headed, mature adult would do. He punched the fan in the face. All hell breaks loose. Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. The police had to be called in to break up the fight in the stands as the Yankees won this game and the series and held on to win the pennant over the Browns. Williams finished the season with 39 home runs to win the American League home run title. 39 home runs to Ruth's 35, becoming only one of two players to interrupt Ruth's 12-year reign of long ball dominance. The other being Ruth's co-suspendee, Languid Long Bob Musial. Long Bob, he was 6'3". He was 6'3", 190. So I guess tall and skinny. But
they could have gone with high pockets.
Well, it was already taken.
That's a good point.
It's already taken. Ken led the league in RBI and total bases as well. He hit 332. He stole 37 bases. That was good for a WAR of 7.9.
Wow.
Became the first player in Major League history to hit 30 home runs and steal 30 bases in the same season. The very first 30-30 guy. A couple of other things that season. He became the first player in American League history to hit 3 home runs in a single game on April 22nd. The Vinny Pasquantino of his own time.
That's right.
Other highlights for Ken that year, he became the first American League player to hit 2 home runs in a single inning on August 7th. He hit a home run in 6 consecutive games between July 28th and August 2nd. And he became the first player to hit more home runs in a season than strikeouts, having K'd only 31 times in 153 games compared to his 39 home runs. Again,
that's amazing.
Great eye. Despite these numbers, Ken Williams received 0 MVP votes.
Wow.
Zilch, nunca, none, nil, not, butkus, a goose egg.
Nada, which is a light chicken gravy.
Okay. His teammate George Sisler won the award that year with the aforementioned 420 average. But if you didn't wear pinstripes, the press did not care about you.
Apparently not.
The 420 average, that got their attention and got him the win. But to receive not a single MVP vote is just mad.
Yeah, didn't they look at his WAR?
I'm sure they were poring over those WAR numbers in 1922. Despite being described as gangly, Williams famously swung a 48-ounce tree trunk at the plate. Yikes. I don't even know if I could lift that to swing it. That's one of those clubs that the Iron Sheik used to whirl around.
That's right.
Those things are freaking heavy, and it takes a lot of training and strength to do that. That's what a 48-ounce bat would seem like to me. Ken figured out that the extreme weight combined with his strength would force the ball to travel further, and that's true. That's how physics works. But also, Ken liked to cork his bat. So there's that. In the 1923 season, the Washington Senators somehow obtained one of Ken's bats and discovered that the end had been bored out and plugged with lighter wood. Williams claimed that he had simply modified the bat because it had been made too heavy. It was Pete Browning's fault, which is a refreshing change from everybody that's been caught since who claimed, I only use it in BP. The Bat Boy gave it to me. A fan gave it to me. It wasn't mine. The good news, though, for Ken, though, is that corking was not technically illegal at this point. But it did tarnish his reputation. It was still not looked well upon. Ken continued to hit 300, knock 20-plus dingers, drive in 80-plus every year like clockwork. But then, on August 14th, 1925, Williams was hit in the head by a pitch from Cleveland right-hander Babe Ruth. And if I didn't put those extra words in there, I would have said he was hit in the head by Babe Ruth.
Yes.
Which is why I put those extra words in there. Podcasting.
Yeah.
The ball hit him just behind the right ear, knocking him unconscious. He regained his senses and was getting ready to take a shower in the clubhouse when Cleveland's second baseman Chick Fuster came into the clubhouse to check on him. Fuster had likewise been beamed in the same place in the head and had suffered such a serious injury that he almost died from it. He warned Williams, do not get in the shower. A minor leaguer who had taken a cold shower after a similar head injury had died from shock.
Jeez.
So he, might have saved his life there, Chick Fuster. X-rays revealed a concussion, forcing Williams to spend 10 days in the hospital before he was sent back home to Oregon to recuperate. He missed the last month of the half of the season, but despite his season being cut short, he still led the league in slugging. This guy just had a big bat. Williams' numbers started to taper off a bit, and then in 1929, he was playing for the Boston Red Sox at this point, he suffered another unfortunate head injury. On August 8th, Williams was charging in from center field to catch a fly ball. His teammate, second baseman Wally Gerber, was backpedaling after the ball, and neither heard each other calling for the ball. They ended up colliding into each other at full speed, both players cracking their skulls and having to be carried off the field.
Ouch.
This injury effectively ended both of their major league career.
Wow.
Ken played one more part-time season the next year. He still hit 300 but had no power. He retired back home to Grants Pass, where he became a local police officer and ran the Owl Billiard Parlor, where he famously had to run off a traveling salesman who had claimed pool was evil and the only way to keep kids safe was to form a marching band.
Oh, of course.
I love it when I can work a Music Man reference into a baseball history podcast.
And nobody's better at it than you, man.
I have practice on my Music Man podcast. 76 trombones.
There you go.
Ken Williams passed away on January 22nd, 1959 at the age of 68 in Grants Pass. He died from a heart condition that he'd been battling for many years. Much like his 1922 season, Ken got very little respect from Hall of Fame voters. He only lasted 2 years on the ballot. A player named Burgess Whitehead received more votes than Ken. I know nothing about Burgess Whitehead, but with that name, he shouldn't be getting more Hall of Fame consideration than Ken Williams. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
His name came up on a Veterans Committee vote in 2003, and again, he didn't come anywhere close to making the cut. Ken was dominant for a period of time, but he was so quiet and unassuming and, of course, played for the Browns that he was often overlooked. In his 14 seasons, he hit 196 home runs. But remember that part of his career was during the Deaball era, so that number is actually pretty impressive. And unlike the other Ken Williams, this Ken Williams never called Frank Thomas an idiot.
Good call.
I watched that rant from the contemporary Ken Williams that when he just went off on Frank Thomas after the White Sox weren't going to re-sign him, so he signed with the A's, and he just goes off for 2 minutes on this Hall of Famer, possibly the best power-hitting White Sox in franchise history. It just goes off on him and calls him an idiot, says nobody will miss him, calls him a prima donna. I mean, just lets him have it for a minute and a half. To the press, of course, not to his face. I don't think you'd want to say that to somebody that looks like Frank Thomas, is called the Big Hurt and is all jacked up on whatever supplement he's in Doug Flutie are pushing.
That's right.
But that's it. That's the Deadball Ken Williams.
I tell you what, for a guy who played a little bit of Deadball, total of 14 seasons, his career WAR was 42.7.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
I don't know that I would consider him a Hall of Famer. Hall of very good, yes.
Yeah.
But I just can't believe the lack of, to get 0 MVP votes in that season.
Yeah, that's crazy right there.
That's just ridiculous. I don't get it. But he's on the Browns. Par for the course. All right, Mark, I can see, it looks like producer Mitch is in studio this week, since I guess you guys are going to head into T-Mobile. It's nice. It's actually earning his paycheck this week. So he is giving us the sign that we are going to wrap up the middle part of the show, and we are going to head into the final segment. It is time for Wax Pack Heroes.
Wax Pack Hero! Gotta pull a Wax Pack Hero! Stars in his eyes. Hero! On a podcast tonight.
How, everybody? And welcome to today's edition of Wax Pack Heroes. You know, Wax Pack Heroes backwards is so a cat sow. Hey, the rules were simple. Jeff and Mark are here from Two Strike Noise. Longtime friends of mine, Jeff and Mark. They're going to play an old-fashioned game of war. But instead of using playing cards, they're going to be using Budweiser's. Hey, what? Okay, no, they're going to be using baseball cards. That makes much more sense. They'll be using War of the Year of the cards, and whoever has the highest war that round wins. Cubs win, Cubs win, Cubs win, just like that. But there are extra factors, Arnie's telling me, that can add or subtract from their war totals. 1980s baseball aesthetics. There you go. Extra points. Hall of Famer, Bud lover, extra points. And if they have a pop culture reference, like they were in a Budweiser commercial, extra points. But whoa, Nelly, if they appeared in Seinfeld, The Simpsons, or Sabrina the Teenage Witch, they get a whole extra point. Or if Nolan Ryan or Ricky Henderson show up, the round is over and we drink Budweiser's. Hey! But they can also lose points if they show up in the Mitchell Report or are on the do not talk about list. You know who I think should be on that list, Arnie? Mark Gredzalonic. And that guy's name is too difficult. They can also get more points if they led the league in any good categories that season, if they won any warrants, and if they have a Costacos brother poster. Oh boy, I could go for some tacos. I love tacos. But if they top the leaderboard in something bad like errors or spilling Budweisers, they're going to get a minus point. So no. Hey, let's wrap this up and go get some tacos and some Budweiser. Now, let me hear you. 1, 2, 3. Wax Pack Heroes.
All right, thank you, Mr. Carey. Go have yourself a Budweiser. Sir, we are going to play some Wax Packs Heroes. Mark, we are tied up. You've won the last couple of games. We are deadlocked at 8 apiece. And let's see how we
pretty tense, man.
Yeah, I said last week we were going to wrap up the 2003 Topps pack that I had, but I found another one.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, I think these are different names than the 80s, late 80s, early 90s packs we usually open. So I think we're going to continue with these for a couple of weeks. There's 35 cards in here, so I don't know how
beautiful.
We could get the good Reverend on the phone and see what he thinks about this. Maybe he could go lift us some more. I don't know.
Yeah, get some real modern cards that you can steal from Walmart.
I thought about that. I thought about playing with the packs that I had bought, but I'm like, we can't. It would just be last season's numbers.
Right.
I don't know that would be. There's too many. This is a history podcast. We're not going to do that. All right. Yeah. So I've got these, Mark. I'm going to let you go ahead and choose whether you want to go first or second. I think I already know the answer.
It's working to go first right now, so we're going to stick with it.
All right. You're going to go first. All right. You have got a Sporting News All-Star card. Good news for you is he is wearing some shades. Also, good news for you is you're going to get pop culture references. You're going to get a Seinfeld reference here. You have got outfielder for the Yankees, Barney Williams.
Very nice.
No relation to Ken Williams, though. Bernie, let's see, 16 years in the big leagues. Of course, all of that with the pinstripes. In 2003, his age 34 season. It's a good thing that you're getting all those extra points because this was the year that he ended. He still played for 3 years after this, but I'll tell you his WAR here in a minute and then what happened after that. In 2003, he only hit 263, a 367 on base, 411 slugging for a 107 OPS plus. He had 15 home runs, 64 ribs, 5 stolen bases, and a WAR of 1.0. That is by far his lowest WAR since his rookie season, where he's basically averaging 5 WAR a season during the prime of his career. 2003, he had a 0.1. The next year, he had a 0.9. Then he had a minus 1.6 and a minus 0.4. So not great. You do get the Seinfeld points, though. That's a whole point. So that's good. That'll bring you up to a 2.5 or a 2.0. Plus the sunglasses is a 2.5. No all-star, no leading the league there in anything. Drafted as a free agent. Well, I'm assuming free agent. Let's see. Is there anything else that is going to help you out here? Of course, the music career. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
Several times. Participated in the World Rhythms Tour of Beja with Beja. Okay, I was going to say I don't know where Beja is.
That confused me a little bit.
Received a Bachelor of Music from the Manhattan School of Music. Nice. Appeared on episode of sitcom Seinfeld as himself, hitting tips along with Jeter from.
That's right.
From the assistant to the traveling secretary, as most teams generally do. All right, so that'll be a 3.5 for you, and you are going to be going up against looks like a rookie. This is a first-year card for me. Pitcher for the Giants, Jeff Clark. I don't have high hopes here for Jeff Clark.
Is that Clark with an E or just?
Nope.
Okay.
And the fact that he doesn't have a major league page on Baseball Reference makes it even worse. He does have real stirrups here. I can see the sanitaries underneath him, so that's nice. But he never made it above Double-A. But he's got a baseball card. He's got to be happy about that. Shreveport and Norwich are the only teams that he made. Looks like he's a member of the Yukon Hall of Fame, but that's all I got. There is, let's see, he might have an Instagram. Is this like if he does, we could have him on our 420 show. That's for sure. There is one post about baseball. All of the other posts are 420 related. Jeff, I like the cut of your jib, my friend. All right. I'm going to go ahead and give that one to you. 1-0.
There's one.
All right. Oh, geez. You got a Hall of Famer again.
Wow.
You have got, with the Houston Astros, Craig.
One of my favorites.
The Bidge.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Let's see, of course. You guys all played for the one team their entire career so far.
I know.
20 years, every single pitch, every single inning with the Houston Astros. In 2003, good news for you, he led the league in hit by pitch this year.
We did.
You'll get a half a point for that. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times during his career. Overall hit by pitch 285 times. That's 285 hits, walks, same thing. You're getting on base. So that's good. Let's see. Overall that season, he hit 264, 350 on base, 412 slug for a 96 OPS plus. He had 15 home runs, 62 ribs, 8 stolen bases for a WAR of 2.6. He is a Hall of Famer, so you get a bonus there. Got some eye black on, so you'll get another 1/10 of a point for that. Let's see here. He was first round draft pick, 22nd overall in the 87 draft. I don't know if he's got any pop culture references or not.
I don't believe so. If he did, I would be aware.
Looks like he does a lot of work in the community. Biggio was arrested in 1989 and charged with DUI in Texas. Astros teammate Ken Caminiti was a passenger in the car at the time. At the trial, the arresting officer testified that Biggio handed him $200 in what he believed was a bribery attempt.
Whoops.
He got 2 years probation, 50 years of community service, and was fined $350.
It's probably 50 hours of community service.
Oh, what did I say? Yeah.
Years.
Oh,
That'd be a lot.
that's a steep sentence.
They don't take it lightly there.
Drunk driving, you could very easily kill some very innocent people. So don't do that. Yeah, I think that's it. Not that you should be worried. You've got a Hall of Famer. Let's see. You will be going up. Okay, I've got a Future Stars card here for the Phillies.
Oh, another one.
Yeah. So one of them had a good career here, but I don't know if he's going to beat Craig Biggio. I've got Marlon Byrd or Jorge Padilla. I think Padilla probably had a career as well. I don't remember. But I'm going to go with Marlon Byrd here because I know that he played for quite a while in the big leagues.
He looks like a cheat code here.
His name is both a fish and a bird.
Man, this is true.
Boy, jeez. Yes, this is a cheat code. 15 years in the big leagues. 5 for the Phils, 3 for the Rangers and Cubs, 2 for the Nats, and then 1 apiece for the Mets, Reds, Giants, Red Sox, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh.
Ow.
So yeah, cheat code. What I like best about him is he came in 4th in the Rookie of the Year balloting in 2003. He hit 303, 366 on base, a 418 slug, and a 111 OPS plus. He had 7 home runs, 45 ribs, 11 stolen bases, and a 3.4 WAR. So 0.8 behind Craig Biggio. I'm not sure I'm going to get anything else. There's nothing on this card that's going to help me.
Well, I have some bad news for you.
Oh, no.
He was suspended 162 games for his second positive PED test.
Wow. Yeah, I guess that pretty much does it. Yeah, he jerks and profarred me.
He sure did.
Shoot, that's an easy win. Let's see, is there anything else here that we like to talk about other than that? No, it doesn't look like it. All right. He played for a long time, though. Had a good career. But all right, that's 2-0. This is quick. This is ugly. Well, at least you've got a manager card. This is one of our favorite guys when it comes to his career as a player, as a catcher, specifically. Sitting on his butt, legs spread out. I think of him mainly for the Bucks and the Cardinals. But we are talking about Tony Pena here as the manager for the Royals. So Tony's got a mustache, so you've got going for you there. I think we just say just nothing when it comes to that, right? We don't.
That's right.
Yeah.
Unless he's been on TV, which I don't think. Yeah, I don't think he's been on any shows anyway.
Let's see here. 18 years in the big league, 7 with the Bucks, 4 with the Red Sox, 3 with the Cardinals and Cleveland, and then a season apiece with the White Sox and the Astros. Overall, a 24.7 career WAR. 18 years in the big leagues, though. He was a starting catcher for most of that. The last 5-6 years of his career was that backup catcher role. Surprisingly, 80 stolen bases. He had back-to-back 12 stolen base seasons, He was caught 63 times, so that's not a great percentage, but he's a catcher. He's no Spanky LaValliere, still.
He did win Manager of the Year once in 2003. So I just wanted to put a manager accolade on that.
Oh, you know what? I will give you points for that. That is the year that we are.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I'll give you, that's an award, so I'll give you half a point for that.
Right on.
So that'll take you up to a full point. Let's see, who did he beat out for Manager of the Year? He beat out Ron Gardenhire and Ken Maka. All right. Yeah, you said nothing pop culture-wise that we...
No.
All right. Tony Pena, I've got a shot here. Tony Pena is going up against second baseman for the New York Metropolitans, Edgardo Alfonso. Didn't we just... Oh, no, we had another Fonzie last week.
Yeah, it was.
It was Alfonso Soriano.
That's it.
Yeah. This Fonzie overall played 12 years in the big leagues, 8 with the Mets, 3 with the Giants, and then a season apiece with the Angels and the Blue Jays. In 2003, he was actually with the Giants. Hit 259, 334 on base, 391 slug for a 90 OPS plus. 13 home runs, 81 ribs, 5 stolen bases, a .3 WAR. Now, we'll need a ruling here. These 2003 cards have the action shot of them, but then they also, down in the lower left, there's a diamond, a baseball diamond shaped spot with a headshot of them from a different, just a posed picture. And he's wearing some very ugly sunglasses in that. Does that count as glasses?
I would think so.
All right. I'll take it. I don't think it's going to help me. And I think you are in the same boat.
No, I didn't do any math.
No. Let's see. He was traded by the Giants to the Angels for Steve Finley. Let's see if Fonzie did anything besides being inducted into the New York Mets Hall of Fame. Also played one season for the Yomiuri Giants in 2009. Coaching career, personal life. Geez, I think this is another shutout.
Wow.
There's nothing here. Nothing for me. It's kind of like Jeff Probst when he sends people home on Survivor. I got nothing for you. Or that's that's when they don't win a challenge or something.
That's right. I got nothing for you.
Yeah. All right. Shoot. This is a slump now. This is at least 3 in a row that you have not just beaten me, shut me out, I think.
Our pitching is hot right now.
Yeah. And our bats have gone silent. So now you are up 9-8. You can't fire the players, so I'm a little worried about my spot here. All right. Congratulations to you on that. That's going to wrap up our Wax Packs Heroes for this week. It's also going to wrap up our show this week. If you want more of us, you can look in the show notes. We've got links there to all of our socials. We can be found at 2 Strike Noise. That's at TWO Strike Noise on all of the platforms. And just a reminder, I do stream 3 times a week, both on Twitch and YouTube at 9 o'clock Best Coast time, aka West Coast time. Do some baseball dailies. We just talk about baseball stuff. And it's a lot of fun. This is where I get a lot of topics for these shows. So if you've got a good topic, come talk to me there. I'm all ears. We also have a way that you can directly contact us through electronic email that Mark likes to handle.
Yeah, stop showing up at my house. Okay, that's totally off base there. But you can email us at, what's our email, Jeff? Oh, yeah, 2strikenoise@gmail.com.
Yeah, I mean, you shouldn't have given out your home address.
And I shouldn't have said you can trick or treat all year long here. That was a mistake.
You doxed yourself on that one. So
I totally messed that up. Yeah.
No one to blame but yourself. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening to us. We'll do this again. Why not? It was fun. We'll see you all on the next edition of 2 Strike Noise.
Thank you. God bless you. Have a great day.